I wanted to take a couple of minutes with you as we get ready for clinic season and introduce you to the Real program. I will be speaking about this at Glazier Clinics in Orlando, Atlantic City, and Minneapolis over the next several weeks. And I invite you to come out and learn more about the Real program and the impact you can make on the young people you work with each day. Have you ever felt that your team didn't perform to their level of talent? Or have you ever had a team that made a stupid penalty at a bad time, or had players that struggled to take coaching, or had a team that imploded when things got tough? If you're like most of us, you've had this at some point or another. Before I get any further, like this video and subscribe to this channel, and make sure you watch till the end as I have something special for you. Again, the clinics that I'll be speaking at, those dates are right there, and I'd invite you to come out to listen and learn more about this program. So how did we get into using the Real program? Well, early in my career, we had a team that underachieved. So we had taken over a program that had lost 27 games in a row, and we finally broke through and went 6-4. But we felt like we could have been better, and we lacked leadership. We had guys that struggled to make decisions on the field. We knew we had to do something different. And it really started with wanting to win more games, but it evolved into something much greater. The question that you have to ask at the end of every year or every day, really, is what are you going to do about it? When you aren't getting the results you desire, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep doing what you're doing and expecting something different, which, of course, we all know that Einstein defined that as insanity, or are you going to change? For many people, change is hard, and you're not going to change until the cost of not changing becomes greater than the cost of changing. I really believe in life, as well as in coaching and education in general, everything's a choice. Success is a choice, greatness is a choice, average is a choice, excellence is a choice. You choose if you're going to be on time or be late. People say, well, I got a flat tire. Could have left earlier. Could have checked your tire the day before. I'll give you an example I used to share with my students in my class. The day before I would ever go to a job interview, I would drive to the place where the interview was, make sure I knew the path. I'd check the air pressure in the tires. I was going to do everything I could so that those negative things that could happen were much less likely to happen. Playing through the whistle is a choice. Being in a good mood is a choice. Your attitude's a choice. An important thing to learn is you are where you are right now because of the choices you have made up to this point. No one else put you where you are. You did. All right. So what are the things that lead to losing or lack of success? Talking to coaches and looking back through my own career, I found these three areas: negative attitudes, poor discipline, and not being able to handle adversity. Not only does that lead you to not having success on the field, you're probably not going to be very successful in life. What does it all come from? A lack of character. And the Real program addresses each of these. I want to look at some statistics here that show the importance of what we do as educators and as coaches. 24.7 million young people right now, under 18, are being raised without a father in the home. That's 43% of children living without their father. 71% of pregnant teenagers come from a fatherless home. 63% of youth suicides come from fatherless homes. And 85% of incarcerated youths come from fatherless homes. We have a fatherhood crisis. Fatherless boys and girls are twice as likely to drop out of school, end up in jail, and 4 times as likely to need help for social, emotional, and behavioral problems. The question I ask is, who's going to close the gap? Let's talk about the history of the Real program. So this was developed by a coach who was passionate, Frank DiCocco. Frank grew up in Connecticut, was very successful as a coach, was working at an HBCU as a player development coach, and developed this because he wanted to impact student athletes off the field. He wanted to make sure that young people reached their full potential. And he developed the Real program for the sole reason of helping young people succeed in life. Now, Frank's mission was to equip teachers, coaches, mentors, and parents to become better role models and develop an understanding of how to expand their influence to positively impact the lives of young people. His objective was to do better for the coaching profession, to better the profession so that individuals who call themselves coach can increase their impact and expand their sphere of influence. I met Frank as we had gone through this journey in our program. We had implemented character education. I had been a head basketball coach, an offense coordinator in football at that time. I was a head track coach when I met Frank, and then later used this as a head wrestling coach. And Frank introduced me to the program, and I really love the principles and the level of detail that he included. What does the Real Man program stand for? Well, Frank came up with a great acronym, and this is an acronym that helped us to drive our culture within our programs. Number one was respect all people. An important aspect of this is you don't respect people because of who they are. You don't respect them because of their title. You respect people because of who you are, especially women. That's the E. We have a crisis right now of women not being respected in our society, not just by men, but also by other women. We want to teach men to respect women and cherish them, to be grateful for them. They are the queens of this earth. The A is always do the right thing. We always want to make a decision that gets us closer to our goals. And it's a question we ask our athletes. Is what you're about to do going to help you get closer to your goals or take you farther from them? If it's going to take you farther from them, you probably shouldn't do it. And then the L is live a life that matters. We want to teach our young people to go be successful and then come back and give back and help others then to be able to go be successful. So what we did was we realized something was missing, and we decided that we were going to focus on impact and address the heart of the athlete. To do this, we coached their character and leadership skills with as much intent as we coached offense, defense, and special teams. And it all starts with relationships. Building that relationship is vital. Now, where does that relationship come in? How do I explain this to give you a picture of it? A relationship I look at is kind of like a bank account. The stronger the relationship you build with the young person, that means caring about them as much off the field as you do on it. That means caring about who they are, not what they do. What we're going to do is build that relationship founded on trust. We're not going to be their friend. We're not going to tell them what they want to hear. We're going to tell them what they need to hear. We're always going to see the best in them and do everything we can to bring it out. So as you build that relationship, you're making deposits. If I don't have any money in the bank and I go withdraw money, I can't. I'll be overdrawn. It's the same thing when we coach athletes. We build the relationship so that we can then coach them to be their very best. The better the relationship, the harder you can coach the athlete. And I'm not talking about hard, like you make people feel bad. That's the opposite of what we're doing. But we're going to hold them accountable to being the best version of themselves. Something important to understand is we cannot give kids greatness. They already have it. Every single person, everybody watching this video has greatness inside. You were made with greatness far greater than anything you could fathom. Our job as coaches, as leaders, as mentors, as educators, if you're a manager in a company, a CEO, a president, your job is to bring that greatness out. Let's talk about attitude. This is one of the biggest areas of character. Attitude, for a lot of people, we say, oh, you have a bad attitude, or he has a great attitude, but we never define it. We define it for our athletes. Attitude is the outward expression of your inward beliefs. What you believe, truly believe about yourself, that is what's going to come out into your behaviors. So to build a great attitude in our players, we have to build a relationship, and then we have to build value and help them to see that value. We have to improve how our athletes see themselves. Now, again, this is not sitting around a campfire singing Kumbaya, but this is telling them they have greatness inside, telling them that they're special, telling them that they were put here for a purpose, and we're going to help you find it, and we're going to coach you hard so that you can achieve the greatness that you have inside. Everything we're doing is bigger than winning games. I worked with Kent Jackson for several years, and Kent used to say, if all we do is win games, and Kent won a lot of them, about 200 of them here in Texas. If all we do is win games, then they should fire our butts right now. Our role is bigger. And really the biggest part of what we're doing is to help young men become better fathers, better husbands, and better leaders in society. And we are going to help use football to equip them with the skills it is going to take to do this. The role we play as coaches is to teach with intent, character, and leadership, because sports don't teach character. Playing sports does not teach character. If it did, every kid that played sports, everybody that coached sports would have a great character. We know that's not true. Great role models, great coaches, great educators, great parents teach character, develop character. We're going to teach responsibility, decision-making skills, accountability, selflessness, mental toughness, and resilience. So why am I going to do this? That's what a coach asked me. Why would I spend time on this and not helping my guys be better at football? The level of your character is going to magnify your coaching, and it's going to magnify the talent of your players when the lights come on. The stronger their character, the more it'll elevate their talent, the more it'll elevate your coaching. The weaker their character, the more it will diminish those things. So what are the benefits? What do you get out of this? Well, you're going to get a higher team GPA. Our team GPA skyrocketed. What did that mean? It meant more of our kids had more choices when they got out of high school. See, if a kid graduates with a 2.0, he doesn't have a lot of choices. He can go to community college, he can go to tech school or trade school, and he's going to be limited on his choices there. If he has a 3.0, he opens the door to a lot more possibilities. You're also going to have less discipline problems. That's a big area, not only for coaches, but also for school administrators. We want to reduce the discipline issues. You'll have less stupid penalties on the field. You'll see young men reaching their potential, and they'll push through self-imposed limitations. The only one who can stop any of us is you. The only one who can stop you is you. We tell our players that. We tell our students that every day. The only one that can stop you is you. You have to go with intent, be intentional. We're going to build your character. We're going to set high standards. We're going to hold you accountable. And you can do way more than what you think you can. We're going to push you through those self-imposed limitations. A lot of people say, well, you have to have talent to win. I'm not going to lie, talent helps, all right? But there's a lot of talented teams that go 2-8, and a lot of teams that don't have as much talent that are winning state titles. Your talent sets the floor, your character sets the ceiling in anything you do. You could be a great writer, you could be a great inventor, but if you have low character, you're never going to reach your full potential. Having a strong character allows you to magnify that talent. Talent without character always results in underachieving, and strong character will always lead to overachieving. We're going to teach you to teach your players to control the controllables through their character. As a coach, you can't control genetics or talent that comes to you unless you're a college coach. I coach college ball. We recruited, but sometimes you recruit guys that weren't quite as good as what you thought. You can't control their home life and what happens outside of school. They're away from you for 20 hours a day, 22 hours a day. You can't control that. What we can do is make the most out of the 2, 3, or 4 hours we get with them. We control what we teach. We control what we coach. We control the standards we set. We control the level of accountability. We control the culture and climate. And we control whether we teach or develop their character and leadership skills. How do we do this? What do we do each day? We model it. When we started to teach character, we changed. You can't help but change. We transformed as coaches. We transformed as who we were. So we modeled it. We didn't say one thing, but we were doing the opposite. We lived it for them. Kids catch a lot more than they hear. More is caught than taught. What are you doing to teach them? Very, very important. Everything you say is going to make an impact. Everything you do is going to make an impact. So we're going to teach it every day. We're going to correct it every day. We're going to reteach it. And we're going to praise the good every day. And we're always going to remember we get what we emphasize. What's the foundation built on? It's built on unconditional love, which means we love you as much on your worst day as we do on your best day. Never give up on your athletes. Always see the best in them. All right. If you see a guy as a first team All-State player, you're going to coach him that way. If you see a guy as a B team, third teamer, you're going to coach him that way. See the best in everybody. Focus on the heart, not the ability. All right. We always say coaches love players, players love each other. And it's unconditional love. It's not based on what you can do. It's based on who you are. When we talk about standards and accountability, what are we talking about? You have to have standards of performance. They have to be consistent for every single person. Every coach must have a unified level of accountability. One coach can't have this level of accountability and another coach have this level. All right. And every athlete must be held accountable to the standard. If you have different standards for different people or different accountability for different people, like good players, maybe you're good players, you don't hold them as accountable because you don't want to have to suspend them or something like that, you're going to destroy your team. You're going to destroy your locker room. If you own a company and you have different accountability for different people, you're going to destroy that company that you run. Remember, accountability, holding people accountable to the standard, is love. Very important. So what are the logistics of the R.E.A.L Man program? We're going to invest 5 to 10 minutes a day. Now, when we initially install this, we talk about install, just like installing an offense or defense. We're going to spend 15 to 20 minutes a day. All right. In the business world, I work with business leaders on, we don't call it character education, but we talk about mindfulness. And we're going to spend 15 to 20 minutes a day over a couple of days with their team. Some of them will go an hour, and they might do that an hour for 3 days. Well, we're going to spend 15 to 20 minutes a day. If I'm doing this in the classroom or if I'm doing this with a team, we're going to spend 15 to 20 minutes initially for the first couple of days. After that, 5 minutes to 10 minutes a day. All right. That's our investment. That's not very much. That's a little bit of time, and you're going to get a huge return on that investment. Each lesson is divided into 5 parts for 5 days of the week. First down, second down, third down, fourth down, and then overtime. Frank developed this absolutely with the thought in mind that this can be used every single day, because we know that the best way to learn is through repetition, doing something many times until it becomes habitual, until it becomes habit, which means our subconscious is in control and we don't even have to think about doing it. We want character and good decision making to become something that our players don't even have to think about. It's just natural. We're going to usually start as a large group and then meet in smaller groups. So Monday, we're going to introduce our theme of the week, our topic of the week. We're going to take one of the lessons out of the R.E.A.L Man playbook. And then on Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to meet in small groups with coaches and players leading those groups. We're going to come back together Thursday and we're going to share what came out of our small groups. And then on Friday, we are going to have usually a speaker come in like we would on a game day. Very important. All your coaches must be all in to get your players to be all in. Why are we investing our time? Because this goes beyond winning football games. Angela Duckworth from the University of Pennsylvania did a study on what makes people successful. It wasn't an inheritance. It wasn't talent. It wasn't intelligence. It wasn't where they went to college. It was grit. She found the #1 factor of success is grit. Grit for us is mental toughness, which we define as the ability to overcome adversity, failure, and negative events without a loss of enthusiasm, attitude, or effort. It means when bad things happen, we don't let those negatives affect the things we can control: effort, attitude, enthusiasm. And the only way that we ultimately fail is if we quit. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to go through failing events. Failure is an event, not a person. But we are going to fail forward, meaning we're going to learn from the mistake that we made. We're going to grow. We're going to make an adjustment. And then we are going to make another attempt, and we're going to keep going. What this will do is help you to overcome adversity on the field, in the classroom, and in the lives of your students. This program is going to help your students to become better fathers and husbands. Our ultimate goal is that our players can take what they learned and utilize them in their lives. And we tell our players, we're going to love each and every one of you unconditionally. This is what if you order the instructor's box, you're going to get 4 resources, 4 books. It's amazing. I mean, it's a heavy box. All right. What we used to do was order workbooks for every player. We stopped doing that because we used to give those out, and then, you find them laying in the locker room, and then we went to notebooks and they'd put it in there, and that works fairly well if you can do that. But what we ended up doing was ordering a set for our coaches. So we had a character coach who got a box, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, head coach. Those 4 got boxes, and then all the coaches would share off of that. So you have 4 resources. I love the 2-minute drill edition because it takes the lessons in a more annotated form and allows us to work through them at a rapid pace. If you are interested right now, you can go to hopefoundation.us. I'll drop the link down below in the description, or you can call the phone number there, or you can email the Hope Foundation and let them know that you're interested in purchasing. And if you mention that you saw Coach Vint at a Glazier Clinic, or hey, I saw his YouTube video, could I get the $10 off? They will do that. Disclaimer, I do not get paid for you buying this. I merely am a believer in it. And Frank developed this and passed away far too young. And his parents, Frank had formed what's called the Hope Foundation, helping other people excel when he was young. And he raised money to help students in inner city situations be able to go to college. When Frank passed away, his parents took this on as their mission. They want to get this character curriculum in the hands of as many coaches as they can. For every dollar that comes in, they pay for the printing cost, the shipping cost, and then everything left goes to pay for scholarships. So if you use this program, you can nominate student athletes to earn a scholarship from the Hope Foundation each year to help them in college. And it's not going to be a full scholarship, but it's going to help. Athletes can, some of the scholarships are 250, some are 500. So it's a great opportunity for you to impact your players and then be able to help them when they go on to college. You can nominate, and you don't nominate a kid based on athletic ability, nominate your character kids. I want to thank you for taking a few minutes to listen to this. I hope that you will come learn more. I'll get into a lot more detail in Orlando, Atlantic City, and Minneapolis at the Glazier Clinics. Follow me on Twitter at Coach Vint. Reach out to me if there is ever anything I can do or any questions you have. If you get this program and you have questions about the implementation, please let me know. I will help you out in any way that I can. Again, we'll help you implement this, whether you're a coach or you're an administrator and you want to use this with a school. I've had a few coaches reach out to me and they've implemented this school-wide at their schools, and I went out and did a little professional development for them to help them go through that process of getting the program started. Thank you again, and I hope to see you this year at some clinics.